Hello everyone, it's Andy Savva, the Garage Inspector. I'm really pleased today as I'm joined by Matt King, who is a member of the Varta Battery Expert Technical Team. You may have seen recently that Varta are now extending support to the UK independent garage community through an advice campaign on how you can get more out of your battery business. I see this as a huge opportunity. Matt, can you tell us a bit more?
Hi Andy, yes, that's right. We know that there's lots of garage owners who've been affected by the COVID situation in particular of recent times, and now they're in the process of getting their business back on track again. I see also as well you've been encouraging garage owners to use perhaps this time to look at their business with a fresh approach, and we want to do our bit to support those garages too.
Yeah, and in one of my recent video blogs, one of the things I was suggesting to the garage community was to think about sort of a business plan specifically for batteries. And, you know, we say that batteries are becoming more and more an important component. You know, it's a vital component for modern vehicles today. So can you explain a little bit more to us, to our garage folk?
Yeah, well, we think that is sound advice. And there's a lot of garage owners that can certainly make more success with their battery business. We'd like to help them come back and work better with it. So basically doing their stuff with batteries a bit better and a bit more professionally than they have been maybe. And we want to help them do that. So there's 3 reasons why batteries are becoming much more important. So I'll just go over those with you to make a bit more of an understanding. So first off, let's have a look at the recent times. Lockdown. That's created a huge change in our behaviour. And basically it means that there's a massive change in the way that we use our cars. And that causes a bigger change in the rate of the battery degradation. And we can talk about that a little bit more and a little bit later on in the interview. But secondly as well, the independent garage, they're now accessing their rightful and fairer share of start-stop cars, and we'll be seeing those coming into the workshops and changing many more components on those as well. But particularly with the batteries, they fail in a different way on a start-stop car, and if the garage owner isn't aware of how that happens, they're missing the trick, and that's just their business being left behind to be soaked up by the other competition, such as the dealer network or someone else down the road. So 3, another important aspect is MOT testing. We're going into a really, really busy period at the moment, and it's going to peak around autumn. And we're also getting into the lower temperature times now as well. We've seen a really warm summer, so that's also caused some issues with batteries. But now we're getting into the cooler time. This is where those weakened batteries are going to start giving us some issues. And we see that that's a risk. If the garage doesn't include a battery check in their process, they may have disgruntled, disappointed customers shortly after saying to themselves, well, why didn't the garage do their job properly? And it's an ideal opportunity to do a safety check prior to the MOT, such as oil level ready for the emissions test, and taking advantage of testing the battery prior to the MOT test to advise the customer whether the battery is in good health or not. And especially then, it's getting it ready for autumn and winter. And again, as we said, with the hot spell, that's going to be even more important now.
Yeah. And I mean, can you imagine a customer's reaction if they just visited their local garage for something else and their battery failed a few days later? I think they'd be pretty annoyed and may not go back to that garage and try to go elsewhere. So exactly.
And we just think it's really important that drivers especially associate battery changes with their local trusted garage, and over and above all other places that they could take their battery to get changed. But again, obviously that will depend on their circumstances, because a battery isn't always going to fail next to your independent garage. But that's what we want them to think: independent garage, battery.
Yeah, and you mentioned the word trust, which is very, very important, which is one of the binding factors that an independent garage has over a lot of other after sales repair centres. So basically the message to our garage folk is Do not sell yourself short on batteries. Matt, can you explain what steps Varta recommend then to help? What sort of technical steps or steps that Varta can recommend garages in order to get a fair share of the battery businesses out there?
Of course, yeah. So first things first, number one, we need to get them thinking batteries. So test every battery that comes into their workshop, and naturally every service, which would normally happen anyway, plus any repairs and diagnostics that are undertaken by them. And we'd say to those garage owners, give your customers the support and awareness of their battery condition that will also give them peace of mind. So then secondly,
it seems an obvious one, doesn't it?
It does. Maybe
definitely. Not so obvious.
Absolutely. And second is to get themselves a decent battery tester. Now, I know a lot of garages will say we've already got a battery tester, but it's been stuck in a box somewhere at the back of the workshop. And of course, it is absolutely no use there. There are lots of testers available. And whilst us at Varta, we work closely with Midtronics, there are several other branded testers that meet the recommended criteria. So I've put together a really simple guide that's available on the Varta YouTube channel, which will get a garage started at an entry level. And then they can start on that journey of a long-term battery testing solution, which again will just come in due course. Thirdly and finally, just get testing for all cars, including pre-test for all those coming in for an MOT, and give your customers a status report on their battery. It's so easily done with a tester that has got a printer. So that is another important factor as well. Make sure it does have a printer, which is useful. Yeah,
because you're giving the consumer evidence there. So what we're really saying to garages really is let's get battery testing. Let's make it part of our process post-lockdown on every vehicle that comes in, especially on the vehicles that have start-stop technology. And these are very common now. There's going to be a surge of MOTs. We know it's coming. So don't forget potentially identifying, a damaged component from a battery. And it will just save customers a lot of hassle and time and stress later on. So, that's what we want to try and reinforce that message here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about start-stop cars is they don't need to not start to be costing the driver money. So with a start-stop car, the driver can get up to 15% fuel saving, but that does depend on their driving characteristics and style. And the main point is, it is definitely not the case that they will get 15% fuel saving if their battery is already beginning to be discharged and needs some care already.
Yeah, and that's a very, very important point. Is there a link or a website or anywhere that our garage folk can go for technical resource and to tap into this sort of knowledge and areas that Varta can support them?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say to all garages, whatever you're buying, Varta are still offering completely free access to our online Varta partner portal, which gives you all the free of charge help that you need, which is backed up by OE data that will help the garage community get back to better, so that they've got all the information they need to really get their battery business going.
I mean, this really does match the message that I try to get across to the garage community. As garage professionals, we need to be confident about the sort of quality, the transparency and the honest service that we can offer our customers with the support from the biggest battery manufacturer in the world, Varta. And I think the benefits, Matt, of the free trusted advice and expertise on batteries from Varta is priceless to garages. And for me, it's not just about selling a battery for the sake of it, but testing the battery properly, giving the customer that report on the battery status, and really helping them understand the technology in their modern vehicle today and what the battery has to do to be at its premium. So Just changing the subject slightly, Matt. I'm really pleased to see that VARTA have now joined the OESA group, which is the Original Equipment Suppliers Aftermarket Association. So can you tell me a little bit about that? You know, what the thinking was to join OESA?
Yeah, that's right. We are coming together with OESA, and they are doing a lot of great work to help workshops. And right now we're giving away a free Back on Track pack. We're going out to visit the garage network, and the whole team are out giving away these Back on Track packs that OESA have put together, and also we've also got some bits in there from VARTA as well. So look out for either me or one of our VARTA team, or even one of the other OESA members as well. There is a link that will come up shortly, and to get hold of your free Back on Track pack. So the VARTA technical team, we're dropping them off with workshops during the next few weeks, and if your viewers want one, they should get in touch by the generic email address for VARTA, which is uk-inquiries@clarius.com, and that will be coming up on screen shortly.
That's fantastic. And just for those garage folk that don't know who OESA are, they're a group of tier 1 parts manufacturers that have all come together to sort of quash the myth about matching quality parts from some aftermarket companies that they claim their parts are matching quality. So for us, it's all about OE, fit and forget. These are parts that have been designed, manufactured together with assemblers, vehicle assemblers, to be fitted on a production line. So it's really, encouraging to see that VARTA have joined such a group of elite parts manufacturers, and also the work that collectively they've done to support the independent sector in some strange times. So, you know what? Thank you very much, Matt. It's been great talking to you today, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you very much.
My absolute pleasure, Andy, and thanks ever so much for having me on, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.